researched for more hours than I want to know. Okay. Anyway, we are going to pick back up in our Septuagint reading from the Old Testament. We are still in Genesis, and we are completing that today. We are in Genesis chapter 49. And that's our dog, my dog. Hush. Shh. All right, Genesis chapter 49. It is written. Then Jacob called his sons and said to them, assemble that I may tell you what will happen to you in the latter days. Assemble and hear me, ye sons of Jacob. Hearken to Israel, hearken to your father. Reuben, my firstborn, thou my strength and the head of my children, too imperious and too self-sufficient. In the excess of thy insolence, thou shouldest not have burst forth like water. For thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then thou pollutest the couch to which thou wentest up. Whoa. Simeon and Levi are brothers. They accomplish their iniquitous purpose. O my soul, come not into their counsel. In their conspiracy, let not my passions be engaged, because in their wrath they slew men, and in their rage hamstrung a bull. Cursed be their wrath, for it was headstrong, and their enmity, for it was bitter. I will parcel them out in Jacob, and scatter them among Israel. Judas, let thy brethren praise thee. Thy hands will be on the back of thine enemies. The sons of thy father shall bow down to thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From a vigorous stem, my son, thou art sprung. Couching down, thou art gone to sleep, like a young lion, who dare rouse him. A chief shall not fail from Judas, nor a leader from his loins, till the things reserved for him shall come, even he, the expectation of nations, binding his colt to a vine and his ass's colt to the young vine. He will wash his robe in wine and his mantle in the blood of the grape. His eyes are more exhilarating than wine, and his teeth are whiter than milk. Zebulun shall dwell by the sea, and he will be near the haven of ships, and will extend as far as Sidon. Issachar desired earnestly what was good, halting between two choices. But seeing the resting place that it was good, and the land that it was fertile, he bowed his shoulder to the labor, and became a husbandman. Dan will judge his people, and be like a tribe in Israel. Let Dan be indeed a serpent in the way, lying in watch in a path, biting the horse's heel, that the horseman may fall backwards, waiting continually the salvation of the Lord. Gad, troops of plunder will plunder him, and he to his utmost will plunder them. Aser, his meat will be fat, and he will furnish dainties for princes. Nephthalim is a spreading stalk, super aiding beauty by its product. Joseph is a fruitful son. My fruitful son was envied. Abide with me, my younger son, and against whom calumniators brought false accusations. Though the master of bows took aim at him, yet their bows and their strength were broken, the sinewy arms of their hands enfeebled by the hand of the mighty one of Jacob. Thence he who hath strengthened Israel is from the God of thy father. And my God hath helped me and blessed me with the blessing of heaven from above, and with the blessing of a land having all things, by reason of the blessing of breasts and womb. He hath made the blessings of thy father and mother more durable than the blessing of perpetual mountains, and more permanent than the blessings of everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of thy brothers, of whom he was the leader. Benjamin is a ravening wolf. In the morning he is still eating, and for the evening he provideth food. All these were the 12 sons of Jacob, and these were the words which hath their father spoken to them when he blessed them, each according to his peculiar blessing. And when he had blessed them, he said, I am going to be added to my people, and you shall bury me with my fathers in the cave which is in the field of Ephron the Shittite, in the double cave which is over against Mamre, in the land of Canaan, the cave which Abraham bought of Ephron the Hittite for the possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. There Leah was buried in the field, namely in the cave, in it which was purchased of the children of Chet. And when Jacob had finished his charge to his sons, he drew up his feet into the bed and gave up the ghost and was added to his people. Chapter 50. Then Joseph fell upon his father's face and bewailed him and kissed him. And Joseph gave orders to his servants, the embalmers, to embalm his father. And when the embalmers had embalmed Israel and completed his 40 days, for this is the time allowed for embalming, the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. And when the days of mourning were over, Joseph spoke to the princes of Pharaoh, saying, If I have found favor in your sight, speak for me to Pharaoh and say, My father adjured me, saying, In the tomb which I cut out for myself in the land of Canaan, there thou shalt bury me. Now therefore let me go up and bury my father, and I will return again. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, Go up and bury thy father, as he adjured thee. So Joseph went up to bury his father, and there went up with him all the servants of Pharaoh, and the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and Joseph's family, and his brothers, and all his father's household, and his kindred. But their flocks and herds they left in the land of Gisham. There went up also with him chariots and horsemen, so that the camp was very large. And when they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is on the bank of Jordan, they mourned for him with a very great sore lamentation. And when the inhabitants of the land of Canaan saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad, they said, This is a great grief to the Egyptians. For this cause they called its name Grief of Egypt. It is on the bank of the Jordan. When his sons had done this for him, when they had carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the double cave, the cave which Abraham bought for the possession of a burying place, from Ephron the Hittite over against Mamre, then Joseph returned to Egypt, he and his brethren, and those who went up with him to bury his father. Now when Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, Perhaps Joseph may bear us a grudge and requite us for all the ills which we have done to him. So they came to Joseph and said, Our father before he died adjured us, saying, Thus shall you say to Joseph, Forgive them their iniquity and their sin for having done thee evil. Now therefore forgive the iniquity of the servants of the God of thy father. And while they were speaking to him, Joseph wept. And they came near to him and said, We are thy servants. Upon which Joseph said to them, Fear not, for I am God's servant. Ye indeed consulted against me for evil, but God determined concerning me for good, to bring to pass as at this day, that much people might be nourished. Moreover, he said to them, Be not afraid. I will continue to nourish you and your families. So he comforted them and spoke affectionately to them. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his brothers and all his father's family. And when Joseph had lived 110 years, and saw Ephraim's children to the third generation, and the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were also dandled on his knees, Joseph spoke to his brothers, saying, I die, but God will assuredly visit you and conduct you out of this land into the land which God with an oath gave to our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Joseph adjured the children of Israel, saying, In the visitation wherewith God will visit you, you shall carry my bones hence with you. So Joseph died being 110 years old, and when they had embalmed him, they put him into a coffin in Egypt. And that completes the book of Genesis. We will pick back up in Exodus. All right, brothers and sisters, as always, keep your eyes on Jesus and your nose in the book, which is the Word of God. And let us embed the Word of God upon the tablets of our hearts, so you and I will not sin against God or be deceived.